Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I'll be ranking every single season we have got in the Walking Dead universe. So that is a total of 24 seasons split between 6 different shows: The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Tales, Dead City, and Daryl Dixon. For the sake of time, I'm going to be very brief with each season, just so that this video doesn't balloon into an hour-long video, because there's just so much to get through. So let's jump right into this, and in last place, number 24, is World Beyond Season 1. And the reason why this is last is because there is not enough CRM, and it focuses mostly on the children crossing America, and they are all insufferable. Some of them get better in Season 2, but in Season 1, they are all so hard to watch, and that's the majority of the season, so it has to be here in last. Moving on to number 23, it has to be Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, and this is because I hate the way it looks. I hate the story in this season. I think it's just so dumb. The first half being about them trying to fly a plane, crashing it, children, and the second half is just nothing episodes. So this is definitely the worst season of Fear. Moving up to 22, and it has to be Tales of the Walking Dead Season 1, and this is not what we are promised. All the episodes are just these random one-off episodes. They have the Alpha episode, which just retcons Alpha's story. You introduce Ghost, Groundhog Day. Of course, this is going to be near the bottom of the list. Up again to 21, and it's World Beyond Season 2. The first half of the season is terrible. I really dislike it because Iris just gets really insufferable, and she really brings this season down. But when this season gets good is right at the end, when Jadis comes in and the CRM actually get really interesting and we find out what they're doing. That's the best part about the season. But there's no Season 3, and the season just feels like it's setting up to something which we never got to saw, which really does suck. Up next in 20 is Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, and this season was rushed. It might look good, it might have done a couple characters good like Morgan, but it just had no budget. It brought back way too many characters, and it was just mind-numbingly bad at the end, only being held up because I thought the first 6 episodes were alright. In 19 is The Walking Dead Season 8, and this might be controversial to have it this low, but I think this season is almost trash. They kill off Carl. The Negan-Rick thing just gets comical, how many times they meet up, fight each other, and then break apart without really hurting each other. This season is just action, 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 and doesn't really give enough characters the development they need, and it's just filled with way too many dumb moments. Up next in 18 is The Walking Dead Season 7, and this only beats out Season 8 just because it has 1 or 2 truly great episodes, and that is 16 and 1. But every other episode in between is just bottle episodes and filler. This season is the season of filler, and it is just a whole season about Rick getting his mojo back. The pacing is terrible in this season. It just has those 2 bookending great episodes, and that's the only reason it is this high. Moving on to 17, and it is Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. And I really like the first half of this season. I really like the Fallout aspect and those first few episodes. It's just, once Alicia comes in, it sets up to war, which never happens, and it just becomes each episode is filler, and it's a march to nothing. And by the end of the season, it just really leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. 16 is Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, and this is a lot like Season 7. I think the first half of the season is absolutely great. We have 2 timelines, and I really like that. It's just the back half of the season, which is about the girl and the storm. It is just so dumb, and it really is clear that they didn't have enough content for an entire season worth of story, and the back half is just 100% filler. And moving on to number 15, The Walking Dead Season 11, and this season is just bloated. The Reaper arc was completely rushed. There were no stakes in this season, and they tried to do too much and just ended up doing too little, and the ending didn't really feel like an ending. Up in 14, I have to put Dead City Season 1. I just can't justify having it any higher. The season is interesting, however I feel like it is pointless. Maggie does not enough, she is just wasted, but Negan is very good in this season. It just feels a bit like they've reset Maggie and Negan's character, which does suck. Moving on to number 13, and it is The Walking Dead Season 10. And this season has a very strong start. The Whisper arc is cool, but then you get to the halfway mark of episode 8, and then the arc just fizzles out with the Whisperers, and it just ends with a whimper, I feel. Everyone just feels indestructible in this season, and then you get the 6 bonus episodes, which completely destroy this season. And I have to look at the season as a whole, so I have to also count the bonus episodes. And because of those episodes, I cannot have this any higher than 13. Moving on to 12, and it's The Walking Dead Season 2. The big wins of the season is the Shane and Rick arc, and Shane is easily one of the best characters in The Walking Dead. This is also a very character-focused season. However, it is clear the budget was slashed in this season, and those middle episodes are a massive drag. There are some big pacing issues in this season. Up in 11 is The Walking Dead Season 1. This season is gripping from start to finish. However, with it only being 6 episodes, they can't really delve deep into any of these interesting aspects which they set up in this season, and it is more a whistle-stop tour to get everyone off into the apocalypse and out of Atlanta. Moving on to number 10, Fear the Walking Dead Season 1. And it's rather controversial to have it over The Walking Dead Season 1, but I prefer the season just because we see the fall of LA. We have some very interesting characters with the Clark family. Nick's story is amazing, this addict going through withdrawals while the world around him collapses. This is just very great. The only issue is that between 3 and 4 there's a time jump, so we don't actually see the fall of LA, we see the start of it and then a quarantine zone. Up in number 9 is Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, and I have to say this season does have pacing issues, but I love the introduction to Mexico and that aspect. Also, my favourite episode of Fear, or one of my favourite episodes, is in Season 2, and that's episode 14. And I like the Abigail boat plot. Some people dislike it, but I think it's a very interesting thing which we've never seen in the Walking Dead universe before. Moving on to number 8, and it is Daryl Dixon Season 1. And for me, this is a near perfect continuation of Daryl's story. We get to see France, and we get to see so many cool characters like Isabel. This issue with this season, though, is that it feels a little like The Last of Us at the start, and I don't feel like they give Laurent and Daryl enough time for the relationship to really be believable. But they really do dive into Daryl's character in this season, and it is amazing to give Daryl the time to shine, which he just lacked in the last few seasons of The Walking Dead. Moving on to number 7 is The Walking Dead Season 4, and the first half of the season is absolutely fantastic with the governor and the sickness arc. The issue with this season, though, is I feel like they spent way too long separating the characters up and having those weird bottle episodes in the back half, which really do drag this season down. There is just only a handful of episodes in this season which do ruin it, but overall it is a fantastic season. Number 6 for me is Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, and I think this season is almost perfect. We get this amazing new format for Fear which really does work and make it feel so much different. The season looks great. Morgan gets this amazing character development. We have these amazing character moments, some of the best villains in the Walking Dead universe with Virginia and Teddy. However, the last few episodes really do ruin this season, and they kind of jump the shark a little with Nuke Texas. Moving on to number 5, and it's The Walking Dead Season 6. And this season has the best arc in The Walking Dead, and that's the No Way Out arc, with the walkers actually being the villain and the threat. However, the issues with this season is the cliffhanger at the end, the rush of the Alexandrian Rebellion arc at the start of this season, and them completely missing the Carl recovery arc from the comics. But outside of that, the build up to Negan is amazing, and the No Way Out arc is amazing. It's just a one too many things around which really do ruin the season, plus the Glenn fake out death. At number 4 is The Walking Dead Season 3, and this is when The Walking Dead got great. We got our first big proper villain, which was the Governor, and he's easily the best villain of The Walking Dead. He's not pantomimey like Negan, or just scary like Alpha and Beta. He is this flawed character that just so happened to be opposed to Rick. We have the greatest villain, we have the greatest set, and we have some amazing episodes in the season, like Clear, and we get to see Rick's decline in his mental health. The only issue of the season is that the final 2 episodes have a budget issue, and Andrea is just annoying. Moving up to number 3, and it's Fear the Walking Dead Season 3. That might be controversial, but I absolutely love this season because this is where Fear found its feet. We get so many great characters introduced to the show, like Walker and Troy, and this is where our characters finally start to become villains, especially Madison, where we see these characters slowly descending down this rabbit hole of madness, and it just makes great TV. There's only an issue in this season where they just kill off Travis way too quick and just kick off Lucy in episode 4. And moving on to number 2, and it has to be The Walking Dead Season 9. This is a season which restored my faith in The Walking Dead. After 7 and 8 being bad, you have Season 9 with a reboot, new showrunner. It's just amazing. You have the great, perfect send-off of Rick Grimes in the first 5 episodes, and then you get that build-up to the fair and the reveal of the Whisperers. Just absolutely perfect. This season saved The Walking Dead in my opinion, so it deserves to get the recognition that it deserves and be number 2. And now here we are at number 1, and it's The Walking Dead Season 5. This season is just perfect from start to finish. Episode 1, amazing. Those first 3 episodes are the darkest we've got on The Walking Dead, taking out those hunters. And then we get this very interesting arc and return to Atlanta one final time. But then we get bad episode 8. That's the only bad episode in the season, I would say. But after that, we get some perfect episodes back to back to back, with them being on the road, Murder Jacket Rick. We get some amazing character development. And then we meet Alexandria, and we get to see Rick become Shane. And the final episode of this season is just absolutely perfect. That's why this is number 1. This season is just perfect from start to finish. I just can only say one flaw, and as I already said, the one bad episode is episode 8. So this is my list, so please tell me down below, do you agree with me or disagree with me? And if you disagree, what is your ranking of every season in the Walking Dead universe from worst to best? But this is it for me today, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.